When I was younger, so much younger than today, I used to think that science was the opposite of religion, because religion for me was faith, and faith was believing into something, usually something written in a book, without needing or wanting any proof. And science was different. Science was open minded. Science was searching for the truth, collecting evidence. And when new evidence arrived, science was open to revise the story. At least that's how I saw science then. But then my first awkward encounter with science was in my high school. In fact, it was the first day of my high school in biology class, because we were taking Big Bang, and our teacher was telling us that there was a dot that exploded, and then the time began, and our universe was born and started to grow. But I was a curious young boy, so I raised my hand and I asked two questions. When did the dot explode, and where was that dot? She did not like those questions. Not at all. Because I had problems with that teacher during the entirety of my high school. But nonetheless, my best grade in high school, the final best grade in high school, was from biology. Because that grade did not come from tests. That grade came from a science project that I was doing with another student, and that grade was not only a reflection of my work and his work, but also a reflection of her work. So she did everything she could so that that grade would be as high as possible. But I survived, and eventually I was out of school in real life, slowly forgetting all the school science and appreciating all the technical advantages that our science is giving us day by day. And I do appreciate a lot of technical things that are possible nowadays because of our science. But then you come across information that, if you let yourself do so, that let you wonder, is our science really so innocent as I thought it was when I was a young boy? Maybe we do have information which tells us otherwise. We will talk about that information a little bit later. But for now, let us say this. There is science and there is science. Unfortunately, we don't have two separate words for these separate concepts. Because if we are talking about church, for example, or religion, we can say that we have spirituality and we have church, or we have spirituality and we have religion. But here we have science and science. So let us try to make a distinction. We will call a scientific mind a scientific point of view, a scientific way of doing things, we will call that science. The institutions, the scientific institutions, and the scientific narrative, we will call that mainstream science or official science, or I will call it the religion of science. Because science has all, but really all aspects of a religion. It is true, a religion usually is based around some deity, and science is not. But that's the only difference. Let's say that this religion is based around a notion that there is no deity, but everything else is exactly like it would be in a religion. We have institutions, but we will come back to the institutions. Let us start at the most important thing, the three major dogmas. The three major dogmas are the Big Bang Theory. They still call it theory because they cannot prove it, but they rely on it so much that they base everything else on that theory. Then the second dogma is evolution. Evolution is also still a theory. They don't mention that anymore, but it is still technically a theory. And a third dogma is the missing link. We don't have the missing link, but we all accept that we will find it someday, so we can disregard the notion that there is no actual missing link for the evolution of man. So our science is based on three major dogmas, but everything else is based on truth, is based on fact, is based on searching the truth, at least. Well, I don't think so. I thought so when I was still under the influence of school and under the influence of BBC documentaries that were the only documentaries that our Slovenian TV bought. But when you read books, when you watch videos from researchers that are not in the science community, and many of them are not anymore because they were expelled, you see that science is just like any other business we have on this world. There is a narrative that must be respected, and if it is not, if some scientist is doing a research he was not supposed to do, he is first ridiculed and then expelled, if not something worse. Because there is, unfortunately, a narrative that somebody is pushing. Who started it? Who is at the top of it? I don't want to talk about that because there we could go into the realm of conspiracy theories. But even without conspiracy theories, if there is a push in a certain direction, then everyone, in this case in a scientific community, everyone is pushing to the same direction because they don't want to be ridiculed. They don't want to be left out. Their existence, or at least their scientific existence, is threatened if they don't if they don't agree with the common narrative. So nowadays we have a lot of evidence that doesn't fit the common scientific narrative. And what does science do about it? They are closing their ears and eyes as tight as possible. They don't want to hear about it. But, for example, archaeology. We all know that there was something going on 13,000 years ago. There are monolithic structures all over the world. There are pyramids all over the world. And according to our science, those pyramids were built by slaves in a timeline that is impossible. But you know, when you are dealing with a religion, the religion doesn't care what is possible and what is not. The religion cares only if you believe in it or not. If we look at biology, they don't know how life began on Earth. More they know about biology, less obvious it is to them how life could start on Earth. It is, by their knowledge, it is impossible. They cannot do it. They cannot do it in lab. But it started spontaneously in a hostile environment that was Earth in those days. So certain scientists say that maybe life came from meteors. But at the same time, they say that we can only find life on Earth. So on other planets, there is no life, but the life came to Earth on meteors. So did the life started on meteors? It makes no sense. Most of what they are telling us, and I don't mean technical science. Technical science made a lot of improvement. Also, they improved our life. They polluted the world, but they improved our life. I mean real science, science that deals with real questions. Who are we? Where are we? Why are we? What are we? That science is nothing but a religious mess. They, at one point, they've written down the books, all the books, and now, if something fits into the book, it is okay. If it doesn't, it is regarded as not existent. Did you know that the vacuum has infinite amount of energy, and that they first normalized it so that it fits the math, and then they disregard it entirely when they are doing their math, their physics. Not everybody. I'm talking about main narrative. Main narrative is exactly as a religion. Exactly. And they're doing all the same things that religion was doing in the past, and it's still doing. But we accept science as something noble, something that is leading us towards new discoveries, towards the truth. I have many friends who are first and foremost non-believers, but that led them believe in science. I respect them, but they're believers. Because we always have choices. We always are presented with choices. And those choices usually are fake choices. Like in a shop, you can buy one product or another. If it is not made by the same company, it is made by two different companies owned by the same owner. So it's an illusion of choice. And it's the same with science. Science is here for many reasons. And science has done some good things. Of course it is. But one of the main reasons that mainstream science is here for is to be a choice, to be an illusion of choice, because you can choose to be a religious person or a person who believes in science. Well, I got news for you. And we were all like that, me included. I don't want to offend anybody. But if you are a religious person, you are a believer. If you are a man of science, you are also a believer. Because science is something we believe in. For the most important existential questions science is working on, we don't have proof for any of that. But we are supposed to believe that, because the science believes in that. A dogma is not a proof. A dogma is a belief. So, if we ever want to find the real truth, we must not disregard science. We must not abolish science. Science is useful for us. But we must start to see it for what it is. As it is right now, it is a religious institution. Will it ever change? I don't know. Or better, I do know. Until we are trapped into certain things in this world, until people need money to survive, so they need to get paid, and until people need to be appreciate it. So they think that fame and acceptance by the majority is a better expression of appreciation. Until then, science is always going to be manipulated. Because science is, like all things, in the hands of those that own everything. Whoever is that, or whatever is that owns everything. But we all know that. If we ask ourselves these questions, we should all know that. We all know that everybody is answering to somebody. Who that somebody at the end of the line is, I don't know. But if we return to science, if we think that science on its own is gonna evolve into something that will start to respect us, to respect the truth. Come on. We learned in school that other civilizations, if they ever come to Earth, they would be honest and peaceful and I don't know what, because they would be so evolved technologically that they would have to be peaceful and honest and loving. What a bunch of, in a way, we humans, more technological we are, not all of us, but the mainstream, more technological we are, better we fight our wars. And not only that, and science and scientists, sometimes I hear, if only this world would be governed by scientists and not politicians. Come on. Who built the bombs? Who built the chemical and biological weapons? Scientists, they're only humans. And we humans are not, like Christians would say, that we are evil by nature. We are not. But we are gullible by nature. We are easily manipulated by carrots and sticks. And science are no different. Scientists are no different. So, if we want a better world, we must first find out what world we are living in, and then start to build another world. And this is what this video is all about. Most of you will disregard my message, but maybe some of you will try to think for themselves, and maybe you will realize too, science is nothing else but another religion, and everybody believes in science. Christians do, Muslims do, Jews do. You know, some people are saying that for a new age or new world order, there will be a new religion. Maybe they will invent a new religion for those that need a deity. But they already have a religion everybody believes in. Doesn't have a deity, but has everything else that every good religion has. So, my friend, if you are trying to decide what to believe in, I would suggest believe in yourself.